Somehow I managed to stretch to wide open canvas and screw waterproof hedge covers across the gaping holes where there was the broken parts. I just tried to cover with that wide open areas with a canvas and a sheet, you can say. Some water continued to stream below, but still water was coming inside, but most of it was now being deflected. Direction of the water was changed to other side. More problems arose when our hand pump started to block with the debris. Debris is called rubbish, which is called kuda kachra. The electric pumps, they were short circuited due to water, and the pump that blocked debris. So now it was a problem to pump out the water. The water level rose threateningly. It was dangerously increasing. Back on deck, I found that our two spare hand pump had been drenched. They were all pulled in the water. They are all what you can say destroyed. Along with the forestry sail, the front staysail, the jib, the triangular sheet, the dinges, what you can say, ships, small boats, and the main anchor. Then I remembered we had another electric pump under the chart room floor. I thought I can go and check because we are having some spare pumps with the under chart room floor. I connected to it an out pipe. I connected that pump to an out pipe, and thank God it was working at that time. The spare pump. The night dragged on, and an endless, bitterly cold routine. It was a bitter, cold night. They spent the night pumping out, steering, and working on the radio. We were getting on the replies to our midday calls. He was trying to call the emergency calls, midday calls, which was not surprising in this remote corner of the world, but they were not able to connect because it was a remote area of the world. Sue's head had swollen alarmingly. Daughter was suffering a lot. She had two enormous black eyes. The blood clots were there, it turned to black, and now she showed up the cuts on her arm. When I asked why she hadn't made more of her injuries before this, I asked why didn't she tell me that she was having so much cut or the blood was flowing on. She replied, I didn't want to worry you when we were trying to save us all. How brave the girl is. She didn't want to worry the father when he was just trying to save the lives of these people. There's a gap, you can see the line. By morning on January 3, the pumps had the water level sufficiently under control. Now they were pumping out the water like the madman, so the water level was under control for everybody to take 2 hour rest in rotation. One by one, they were able to get the rest now, but we still had a tremendous leak. But a great leakage was somewhere below the water line, and on checking, when I found out, I found nearly all the boats main rib frames are smashed down to the kneel. That is the principal longitudinal timber, you can say. In fact, there was nothing holding up a whole section of the starboard right side hull except a few cardboard partitions. Right side of the boat was totally damaged. We had survived, but still we remained for 15 hours since the wave hit. We have passed 15 hours, but Vivek Walker would not hold together, would not be able to continue to keep us safe long enough for us to reach Australia to complete our journey. I checked our charts and calculated that there were two small islands a few hundred kilometers to the east. One of them, Isle Amsterdam, was a French scientific base. I told you in the summary, it is a scientific island. Very few people used to live there. It's volcanic area actually. Our only hope was to reach these pinpricks, these small areas in the vast ocean. But unless the wind and the seas abated, less strong it becomes, we could hoist sail. Our chances would be slim, very less indeed. The great wave had put us auxiliary, the extra engine, out of the action. The engine was also not working. On January 4, after 36 hours of the continuous pumping, we reached the last few centimeters of the water. Now we had only to keep pace. We have to continue with the water still coming in. We don't have any option. We have to accept it. We could not set any sail to the main mast. Pressure on the rigging. The support system would simply pull the damaged section of the hull apart. Again, the damaged section will get broken. So we hoisted the storm jib and loaded for where I thought and headed for where I thought the two islands were. Mary found some corned beef. Corned beef means roasted beef, and cracker biscuits and we ate our first meal in the last 2 days. Then they had their first meal, but our respite, our relief was short lived. Why? Why the relaxation was very short? At 4 pm, black clouds began building up behind us. Within the hour, the wind was back to 40 knots. This was the measurement of speed of the wind, and seas were getting higher. The weather continued to deteriorate throughout the night. The weather was deteriorating, becoming very bad through the night, and by day on January 5, our situation was again desperate. We were very sorry to say we were again suffering a great deal. When I went to the comfort the children, John asked, Daddy, are we going to die? My son asked me the question. I tried to assure him that we could make it, we could overcome it, we will control the problem. But, Daddy, he went on, we are not afraid to die if we can all be together. How brave the child was. You and mummies, you and I, if we are four all together, we are not afraid to die. I could find no words with which to respond. How can I answer the child for this question? But I left the cabin determined, but I decided in my mind to fight the sea with everything I had. Whatever I can do with the source resources with me, I will definitely try to protect the weakened starboard side. I decided to heave to. So I started moving towards with the undamaged portholes facing the oncoming waves, using an improvised and stop moving sea anchor of heavy nylon rope and 222-liter plastic barrels of paraffin. You can say we stopped and try to anchor the ship. That evening, Mary and I sat together holding hands because we have accepted that the death is very near. As the motion of the ship brought more and more water in through the broken planks, broken wooden sides, we both felt that the end was very near. But Wavewalker rode out the storm, and by the morning of January 6, again Wavewalker helped us. On January 6, with the wind easing, I tried to get a reading on the sextant. It was just the measuring angles. Back to the chart room, and I worked on wind speed. I calculated the speed of the wind and changes of course, that drift, that changes in direction, and crunch in an effort to calculate our position. The best I could determine was that we were somewhere in 150,000 kilometers of ocean looking for a 65 kilometer wide island. We had planning. While I was thinking, Sue moving painfully, she came to me, joined me, and left side of her head was so very swollen, and her blackened eyes narrowed to slit. They was opening very light, very eyes were not able she was not able to open the eyes. She gave me a card, and she made a card for me. On the front she had drawn the caricature. She has made the caricatures, the cartoons of Mary and me, of mother and father, with the words inside she has written the message, here are some funny people, some crazy people like my father, mother. Did they make you laugh? Because they are very adventurous. I laughed a lot so well. Inside was a message written, oh, how I love you both. So this card is to say thank you and let us hope for the best. How sensitive, how emotional, how courageous the children are. Somehow we had to make it. We are to win over it. There's a gap again. I checked and rechecked. Then I checked and rechecked on the sunset